everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another fine Wednesday morning. Welcome to another coffee break chat. I'm your host, James Jackson, he, they pronouns, executive producer, Light Thief Productions. Sorry for the long intro music there. Um, the, the Facebook interface seems to be having problems yet again. Um, it's tough keeping up with all this, all the technology changes that people make. I was just noting the other day that YouTube changed the way that it lets you select multiple accounts in the YouTube app on your phone. So I don't know why. I constantly don't know why folks just change the way things are set up, um, seemingly at a whim. I think that kind of is the point, is to just change it at a whim. But yeah. Um, just got a quick show for you today. Not going to go into too much of any particular topics. There were some uh, things that happened since the last time we were on, that I'm sure you're all aware of. And don't want to really get into, the war in the Middle East or anything like that. It's both beyond my scope and my knowledge base. I mean, I know a bit about it, and I'm trying to highlight sources that are reliable in in our Twitter feed, and our Blue Sky feed, just so that folks can get reliable information. But you have to take any information coming out of a war zone with a grain of salt. It's not like any media organization has actual people on the ground in the places where the war is happening, because the borders were suddenly closed, and they were closed all the way around the Gaza Strip. Um, Even though they're not technically borders with Israel, it's a safety zone. But at any rate, the openings in the fence were closed by Israel, and the border between Israel and the Gaza Strip and Egypt was also closed. So, nobody, if there weren't already, um, if there weren't already people there, um, already on the ground, then those people did not were not able to get there after the violence started. Um, at any rate, wanted to talk about just what we'd have next week for you. We're going to talk next week about education. Education is the foundation of democracy. Let's talk about how that foundation is being compromised. Obviously, that's going to bring up Pennhurst School District, the Philly election, food security, housing security, working and jobs, which I don't know if you noticed, we've been covering the topics of interest for Philadelphia voters in reverse order of importance, but they are all somewhat interrelated. When you have food security, when you have housing security, you have more participation in education and better educational outcomes. When you don't do those things, when you don't have those things, people don't show up for school. They're truant. They go out to try and find their own way, and they don't feel like school has their back. Um, I'd say that's fair. When people are in urgent need of anything, they go about finding it any way they can, and I think that you'll see that's a kind of reoccurring theme around the world, and especially with things that are happening right now everywhere. So we have some interesting national politics. The Speaker of the House, the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the federal government is currently vacant. There's another vote scheduled for 11 a.m. I highly encourage you to tune into this stuff. Watch the vote live, watch what happens. It's kind of interesting when you watch it to see the politics at play. I was talking about this yesterday because the first vote happened yesterday, and Jim Jordan, the candidate that the Republican Party is pushing the hardest to be Speaker of the House, seemingly has no opportunity, no mathematical opportunity to become Speaker of the House. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this vote. Um, I I don't know how a candidate like Jim Jordan gets the necessary votes. He needs an additional 17 of the 20 votes that he didn't get from Republicans. Five of those votes were cast for former Speaker of the House, Senator or House Member McCarthy, and House Member McCarthy obviously isn't going to get elected again, but is relatively well liked by his the folks in the House that support him, and I don't see those five members of the House voting for Jim Jordan, basically no matter how hard they lobby them. Although one has said in the intervening time that he would be voting for Jim Jordan at the or on the second round of votes. The other four are definitely not voting for him. One, in fact, has been specifically quoted as saying there was nothing that that anyone could do to cause him to vote for Jim Jordan. Um, these are our national politics right at the moment, and it's it's kind of infuriating that we're wasting this time on a leaderless House of Representatives without a Speaker of the House. They can't consider new bills. They can't consider new initiatives. They can't argue things that should come to the floor. Support for Israel, support for Gaza, support for um, just human rights, um, any number of other things that aren't getting any sort of debate time on the floor, or even the 45-day clock is now down to 30 days, where at the end of that 30 days we don't have a continuing resolution anymore. We don't have a budget for the federal government, so the government will shut down again. um, are they going to drag this out for another 30 days? It's already been 15. Who knows? It's just, we need our representatives to actually do their job. And I highly encourage anybody to contact their representatives and just tell them what you want them to do. If it's just do your job and get something done, great. Tell them that. Tell them that you don't feel that they're getting anything done as a legislative body or even as an individual, and that you want them to get something done. Tell them what you want them to get done. And I honestly, though I have political feelings, I don't want to influence you to ask them to do anything in specific, but you know what you want them to get done. Why don't you tell them? They don't. they're not they're just regular people, so they need encouragement, and sometimes that encouragement is a stick rather than a carrot. At any rate, I don't know if you follow local news. Victor Fiorello of Five Reasons Why We Hate the Atlanta Braves mascot so much fame, and Jennifer Zavala of Vegan Meatballs fame did an interview together, and it was a candid and open interview. It was very for those of us that know both of those people well, it was a very fun interview to read. And their personalities both come out in the interview. I do know both of them, and I hope to have them on next week as guests of the show to talk a little bit about the interview and the aftermath of the interview and untangle what happened that has created quite an uproar in the Philadelphia Instagram community, the Philadelphia Facebook community, um, and for Jen herself, amongst the people that work for her and have worked for her in the past, and both her detractors and fans have had something to say about that interview. It's quite hilarious. At any rate, that's kind of all I have for you this week. I just wanted to update you guys on that stuff. Get a little broadcast out here. Um, let's I hope you are enjoying the shows. We've been concentrating on voter issues. If you have any questions or comments, things that you would like us to cover that we're not covering, things that you would like us to get to that we haven't gotten to, or things that you would like us to revisit before the election in more depth, feel free to comment or DM our Facebook page, our YouTube, our Twitter, or our Blue Sky account, even on Twitch. There's a comment feature, and we do read all our comments. Not that we necessarily always post them live, but we would love to see you see your comments and find out what you're interested in. And so please do that. Please tune in next week. Tune in for a little conversation with Jen and Victor, and we'll be covering education. We'll be covering Pennhurst School District. We'll be covering the Philly election. We'll be discussing food security and housing security, working and jobs, all that stuff that's interrelated and is going to have a major effect on your life. So let's all get together for coffee next Wednesday morning. Tune in then and enjoy the rest of your week.